Strength of street
Goes
knowledge.
live. Come on. Come on. What is going on, everybody? We are back with Fans with Attitude. Hold on. I've got the live stream in the background and
It's all
gotta
good.
gotta mute it. Alright, there we go. Okay, what is going on, everybody? I'm Daniel, and that is Drew. We are back with
So
Fans with Attitude. It's been a long time coming. Um,
it's been a
we're
year
sorry
since our
that it's been.
last episode.
Yeah, just about. Um, we are back. Um, you know, I think everybody knows who we are at this point, but if you are watching live on YouTube, there is a chat. Boom, I got it right. Where you can comment, and I will be looking to see updates throughout the show. If you guys have any questions or anything we want to talk about, feedback. I know Drew's dad is usually pretty funny on the comments, so yes, if you guys
Facts.
want to do that during the video, we will be answering your questions if you guys have any of those. But today is pretty much a live draft special. Yeah, it's the only thing going on in sports with this whole coronavirus thing. So that's what we're going to be talking about today for the most part. We've got mock drafts for just each of our teams. We've got, some other things to maybe spark some controversy, some hot, cold takes or whatever. But we're going to start off with kind of where we've been. Oh God, my brother came out of his room.
What a
But yeah,
goat.
let's tell the people where we've been at for the last year, Drew.
Okay, yeah. So starting with me, uh, well, everyone knows if they know me, I got shot. Yes, I'm kind of laughing at it because it's still like not real, but yeah. So that happened, and I was hospitalized for a month, and then a lot of fun stuff happened after that. Even got to meet my idol, Robert Kraft. That yes, that is from him. I don't know if you can see the initials there, but yeah. So that was one of many things I got to do. But then school started, and just got caught up in all that, and now we're here with coronavirus, and we figured nothing else to do, so let's get back started with this. So here we are.
Yeah, man. And for me, I haven't been through the same amount of stuff that you've been, but working around with Charlotte football this year has been a lot. And then we do. I was a vice president. You're the treasurer for our club that we started at school, and that started to kick up. So it was
Yeah,
really tough for us to find time, and still be functioning human beings and a fun part of society, and still
yeah,
be able to do
seriously.
this. So now that we got some downtime, we're excited to be back. And talking about sports when there's nothing going on is a little tough, but there's a lot of things that are going out, like hot takes and build your roster teams that we might be able to do in the future. But
Yeah,
let's
and at
hop
least we
into it. I'm really
finally have the draft this week, so we actually do
mhm.
have something that is legit and not just off the top of our head. So
Yeah. I've been looking forward to this draft. I think it's going to be one of the best classes we've had in a long time. Uh,
yeah,
so I'm really excited.
I can't think of a better class. I mean, at least in the past couple of years, just all around. I mean, quarterbacks isn't the biggest part of this draft, I'd say, but every other position just seems stacked.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that the fact that I almost enjoy the fact that quarterbacks aren't like the driving force behind this draft. Like obviously you have your number one overall pick, Joe Burrow, but other than that, I mean, guys are there's top three, four quarterbacks, and then you might not hear one for a day called. Like I don't think it's a
Yeah, I mean,
possibility.
I think outside the top 10, you might get three, and then after that, it's gonna be like,
Late day picks.
yeah,
All right, but if you're new to the channel, I'm a Packers fan. Uh, I
I'm
can
a
show you this
Patriots
entire
fan.
room. I could show you this entire room, but you can see in the chair right here. That's just one of the two, and then we got a whole ceiling fan. So I'm a big Packer fan, Drew's a Pats fan. So we are going to be doing just 7 round mock drafts. All the picks for our respective teams. I'm going to let Drew start since the Pats have the first pick.
Yeah. So, do you want to like trade this like back and forth, like my first round, your
Yeah,
first round? Okay, I was gonna
yeah, we'll
say
just
'cause
go.
that'd be a lot of me droning on, because the Patriots loaded up in this year's draft between what was it, compensatory picks from last year, losing a bunch of people to just, I mean, all the trades they've made this offseason is crazy. Bill at it. So, round one, pick 23. I'm not used to having this high of a pick. Usually it's a 32nd pick. But, so yeah, pick 23. I think they lost, they lost Van Noy, they lost Collins. They need some, and Hightower between injuries and just getting up there in age. I think he's 30 or 31 now. I definitely think they're going to go linebacker here, and I think the linebacker that's going to be available, that best one available at the time, is going to be Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma. That's what a lot of the experts have been saying. I'd say for the most part, I agree with it. I tend to disagree with a lot of experts on things. Like right now, they're saying we're going to trade up and get Jordan Love or something like that, and I'm not feeling that at all. So I think Kenneth Murray is a safe bet. Get a linebacker who I think could instantly start right when he gets up into the NFL. So I think that's where they're going to go.
Yeah, and for the pick 30, a lot of experts had here maybe a linebacker, tight end. Even I think Bucky Brooks had slated for us to take Jordan Love. 30 pick. We have Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to take Jordan Love with the 30th pick. No, that's so stupid, and I hate Bucky Brooks. I'm just going to lay that out. I have us taking Jalen Reagor here from TCU, the speedster. He's a slot guy to me. He's a deep threat. We could put him outside and try and burn somebody. But the Packers have enough big guys as it is. I think we need that guy that can, fill in space and not, be a part of the basketball team, as somebody so graciously put it the other day. And I've seen some people say we take Denzel Mims here.
I was gonna say that's the other one I've seen for you guys from
That's the other
Baylor.
one for us. To me, if we don't go wide receiver here, I think we try and trade one of our later round picks and a second round pick and go up to get Denzel Mims earlier in the second round. That's if we go with a linebacker here. But personally, I want Jalen Reagor. I just think that guy's a baller, and I think there's some later round value for linebackers. So I'm going with Jalen Reagor from TCU.
I like it. Now, Patriots don't have a second round pick, so it's right back to you. I forgot what happened to their second round. Oh, they traded it. That's right. They traded. They had one. They traded it for Mohamed Sanu, who was damaged goods anyways, but hopefully that is different this year now that he has a full off season to recover. So yeah, that's where our second round pick went. So
Yeah. So as I said, unless we trade this one in a later round pick for Denzel Mims after taking linebacker, we wouldn't be making this pick. But to me, I think we pick linebacker Troy Dye from Oregon. A bigger guy, kind of a Blake Martinez regen, but I think he's more athletic and a better coverage guy. Playing in the Pac-12, if you're a run support guy, you're going to be nothing because they don't run the ball. It's just all offense at that point. So if you can be a standout defender in the Pac-12, to me, I think that's a big thing. And a solid linebacker with athleticism that can make plays is essential for us here. And a bigger guy to help fill the run.
for sure.
And
So that's it. I mean, round three now. We're already into
yeah,
round three.
yeah,
We're at pick 87. This is where the Patriots. I think this is where they go for their future quarterback. Tom Brady, after an amazing 20 years, decided to break my heart and all of Patriots Nation. But yeah, so I mean, as of right now, the Patriots got Jarrett Stidham, second year guy, I think third or fourth round pick from last year. And then they got Brian Hoyer, career backup, 30-something
go.
year old. Yeah. So I think this is where they go quarterback. A lot of people are thinking they go in the first round. That just doesn't seem like a Patriots move to me. And I think they can get a lot of value here at this pick. So I've got them taking Jalen Hurts again, another guy from Oklahoma, originally Alabama. Um, I can't say enough about him. Me and Daniel were actually talking about him the other day, and we both kind of think he has that potential to be like the Russell Wilson of this draft. Because a lot of people are overlooking him, even though he put up phenomenal college numbers. And I think he has the potential to be, the next. No, I'm not going to say great, but that next solid dual threat quarterback, because that's the direction the league seems to be heading. I mean, once Tom Brady, Philip Rivers, those guys kind of fizzle out, it's just going to be dual threat quarterbacks across the board. Um, so I think Jalen Hurts, if they can get him at this round three pick 87, I think that's the best pick for them, and really have him and Jarrett Stidham kind of duel it out to see who will be the quarterback for this new era of the New England Patriots.
I think that's a solid pick. I'm gonna hop in between your third round picks because technically in the draft order we're ahead of you before that. So um, this
True,
is
true,
this
yeah.
is where my trade scenarios begin. I will say though, I do like that Jalen Hurts pick. I think he's phenomenal. Um, but here's where, especially talking about the Patriots and their trades, and they traded Rob Gronkowski. I mean, he wasn't going to play for him, and that's $10 million that Robert Kraft doesn't have to pay somebody. So, they shipped him off down to Tampa. But now Tampa has a second year or third year tight end on a rookie deal. His name is OJ Howard, and that is who I think Brian Gutekunst goes for here. I think Tampa Bay undervalues OJ Howard, especially because he got outdueled by Cameron Brate his rookie year. He made some strides last year, but now he's got Rob Gronkowski to contend with, and I genuinely think Bruce Arians doesn't want him there. Uh, I just don't think he uses the tight end that much in the system, and OJ Howard is too good to keep. So I think Brian Gutekunst tries to put a trade together and gets him for a third round pick this year, at least. Maybe another late round pick, maybe one from next year. Not sure, but I definitely think that this third round pick goes to the Buccaneers for OJ Howard. If that doesn't happen, I say that this is when we take our tight end. So the third round pick is really my tight end spot for the Packers. I had Cole Kmet here, but I think he's going to go a little higher. I think he's going to go before we get to pick 96. So I saw another one, and this one was interesting, was Adam Troutman from Dayton. Big guy, can move, solid enough run blocker. I think he's a better run blocker than, say, somebody like Zach Ertz, but he's not obviously like a George Kittle. If he puts on some size, I think it could possibly, be there. And, saying he's George Kittle's
And if I
ridiculous. But
remember correctly, he put up 14 touchdowns his senior year. I mean, dude's a
yeah,
stud. Even though it's FCS at Dayton, he's still a great size, and I've been seeing nothing but good things about him. So that'd be a really good pick for you guys.
yeah. Also, that's my dad back there.
The GOAT.
Uh, yeah, big old Wisconsin guy right there. So, yeah. And you actually have three third round picks here.
Yeah, and I think that might even be wrong because this was uh, from a few days ago. I believe after that Gronk trade, we now have four. Or
Y'all
unless
got a fourth round.
was that a fourth round
You
pick?
got a fourth. You got a fourth.
Okay, sorry. So I'm missing one fourth round pick on my
And
thing.
you
But
traded Gronk at a seventh rounder for a fourth round pick.
that's right. Yeah. So okay, so that actually makes it a little easier for me. But yeah. So our next pick, round three, pick one, or sorry, round three, pick 98. Um, they're right near each other. So this one's interesting for me because a lot of people, a lot of Patriots fans, but a lot of people in general, they think the Patriots receiver group is just absolute trash, and that like, oh, maybe that's where they should go in the
I
first
agree. I
round.
agree.
And I've been thinking about it a lot because I was kind of there at first. It's like, look, Brady had no help last year. It was literally just Edelman, and if he wasn't getting open, then he had nothing, and we'd lose. And I kind of rethought that a little bit. Between N'Keal Harry didn't get put into the fold until I think week 9 because he was on that 8-week IR as a rookie, which is not easy. And then we traded for Mohamed Sanu middle of the year, and he was hurt the whole time. Um, and so he wasn't really working out, and And I think again with those two having a full off season to kind of get healthy, learn the system, I think they'll both end up fitting in well. Mohamed Sanu's been solid between the Bengals and the Falcons, so I think he'll end up being good. Edelman's going to do his thing as long as we don't surprisingly trade him too. Although that who knows at this point. And I think Harry will have a bounce back sophomore year. But so my round three pick 98, I kind of droned on there, but I think Chase Claypool from Notre Dame, he's a very, I think he's kind of sleeper potential here because he's got the size of like a receiver tight end hybrid, but he's got that speed and that vertical. I mean, he was phenomenal at Notre Dame. He was making all the big plays for the past 2 to 3 years. And I think he's the kind of downfield threat they need. Um, and I think this would be a good pick for them because I don't got them taking a tight end until later on, and that could be risky. And I think he can kind of fill like a 2-for-1 here. So I've got Patriots taking Chase Claypool from Notre Dame.
I like that pick. That dude was definitely a combine stud, especially some things, the vertical jump and a couple other drills. So I like that pick. And then you got another one.
Oh shoot! Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we've got
you
a
got
lot
like
of
two.
yeah.
You got two more picks before I'm up again.
Yeah, so the Patriots have a lot of picks right near each other, and this was actually this pick right here, round three, pick 100. At first, I had it as a trade, which I still think, again, Bill Belichick either trades up or he trades for future picks, and I still think that's very possible. But just going off of a needs basis here, oh, you're good. Going off of a needs thing here, they have a need at that edge position. Again, Jamie Collins and Van Noy, they're linebackers, but they also did a lot of pass rushing. And Van Noy went to the Dolphins, Collins to the Lions. So I think they could use an edge rusher in this draft. I'd love for them to take Highsmith from Charlotte. Represent.
That's the guy.
I can't seem to figure out where I think he'll be picked. And I don't think
he'll go higher than 100.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
And I don't think the Patriots will go any further than this for an edge. So I took a safe bet. Terrell Lewis from Alabama. Belichick has that connection with Nick Saban. Always seems to take at least one Alabama player in the draft. And they've hit luck before with a linebacker, edge-type player in Hightower, so I think this could be a solid pick right here.
Yeah.
But then again, like I said, it could be traded or whatever. It's weird. Round 3 and on, Belichick really gets creative, so we'll see.
Yeah, I definitely could see that being traded. Then you got round 4, pick 120. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm at 136.
Right. All right, so round 4 picks 125. I've got them taking Solomon Kinley, offensive guard from Georgia. My reasoning behind this mainly is because although they just gave Joe Tooney the franchise tag, I think there's going to be a draft day trade with him, or at least maybe right after the draft. But I don't see him sticking around much longer. From what I've been seeing, sorry if you hear dogs in the background. Anyways, the future contract talks with him have not been going very well. They haven't really come to an agree on anything, and I don't think the Patriots. They don't strike me as a team that's going to pay a guy $14 million for the year and then just have him walk in free agency. So I think that's why they need to go offensive guard here, and they got what's his name, Isaiah Wynn from Georgia. And he actually had a really good sophomore year after missing, or I say sophomore, second year after missing his entire rookie year. And I think this guy, Solomon Kinley, he's a decent size. And they said he's a really good run blocker with some decent pass protection as well. And they were kind of lacking run protection last year. It was really a weakness for them. So I think this is the type of guard that they need in this draft, especially if they're going to move on from Tooney.
Yeah, that makes sense. his free agent card in Madden is also part of my team. He gets that Packers chemistry, so he's all boosted up. Um, but yeah, so the Pack picks again, pick 136 in round four. And this is where we actually get ourselves our Alabama prospect. Green Bay likes to pick a lot from the Pac 12. That's just kind of how it is. But I think here is where we go with Raekwon Davis, interior lineman from Alabama. I think he gets he's that kind of in between guy where he can play nose and he can play at three to me. I say we have him play one of those ends ish, kind of like a Kingsley Kiki, where he plays a three technique in a 3-4, and he's just there to run stuff. I mean, he's just there to help with the run game. Big physical, good hands. Doesn't have a whole array of pass rush moves, but I think that's where having guys like Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, and even Rashawn Gary help him develop his tougher interior moves. I know Zadarius and Rashawn have both played the three technique in the pros and in college. So I think those guys can help him develop and become, one of those two interior rushers for the Pack running a nickel defense. So I think that is the best pick for us there. It's Raekwon Davis from Alabama.
I can see
Now,
that. And I think
now
I'm
we
up
got-
next.
Yep, we got round
Yeah, round
five. You're
five.
at 170. You're at 172, and I'm 3 picks behind you.
Yes, so round five, 172. I'd say this is half wishful thinking, uh, but also half need basis. I've got them taking Thaddeus Moss, tight end from LSU. Obviously, he's the son of I want to say Patriot great, but the rest of the NFL would consider Viking great. Randy Moss, one of the greatest receivers of all time. I think Thaddeus really, I feel like he's kind of undervalued. I think he has potential to be one of the better tight ends from this class, but he doesn't seem to be getting that respect from like the experts. And round five might be a little generous. I think he could potentially go round four. But if the Patriots are able to, if he's still in the draft, if he's still available at this slot, I think they can't miss this opportunity. They need some sort of positivity going into this season, and just having another Moss on the team, just going into the year, will get Patriots fans hyped up. But also, I think he has the potential to fill a massive hole that the Patriots had from last year. And now that Gronk is back in the league and not on the Patriots, it's going to carry on into this year. And I think he's the right type of tight end that they need, that's actually like a skill player and not just a, I don't even know how to explain it, not like a Matt Lacoste or a Ben Watson
Dwayne Allen.
or a Dwayne Allen who's just there to block and not really do much else. So I think Thaddeus is the right pick if available.
Yeah, I think for me, the Thaddeus is like an Austin Hooper type. He's just a reliable kind of a hands guy. I'm not off the charts athleticism, not like an outstanding blocker, but just a guy who can kind of get it done when necessary. I think that's kind of who he is. But obviously, with my pick in the third round, we will not be taking a tight end here. This is where I think Green Bay beefs up the offensive line here. We did get Rick Wagner from the Lions, but he's not a long-term option. I mean, he's on the wrong side of 28, and just an offensive lineman who's never really been a Pro Bowler his whole career. This is where we need to get a young guy. So I think we take Calvin Throckmorton from Oregon. I'm betting he's still here at this time. But he's a big dude. I mean, this is a tackle prospect. I like him better than I like Jason Spriggs coming out of Indiana. Spriggs sucks in the pros, so can't really do much worse. But this is where I think we take Calvin Throckmorton, tackle from Oregon, and I think you'll like the next guy I have taking.
Oh, for sure.
And it just so happens that we do pick again. So we're done with round 5. Now we're going on to round 6. And for round 6, at pick 192, I actually have Green Bay taking UNC Charlotte's very own Cameron Clark. Just a big athletic guy. He actually played tight end in high school. I don't know
I
if
didn't
you
know
know
that.
Drew.
That's crazy. No.
Yeah, he he was actually a tight end at a Greensboro,
Wow.
and he wasn't good enough like receiving the ball, but he was big enough and athletic enough that he came in to Charlotte and started playing offensive line. You know, that type of athleticism to me is a Jason Peters. Somebody like that, just an athlete.
Yeah. I think if he throws a little more weight on, he could be really solid
And
in the NFL.
and for me, he used to practice snapping the ball at Charlotte. I saw him work out. No, that was Nate. I saw Nate work out with the Titans and
Yeah.
snap the ball. But I think Cam can play a guard spot. I think he has played a guard spot. And to me, Lane Taylor, or Billy Turner, excuse me, needs help. I don't think he's a long term guy. Or if anything else, we try and get Cam to snap and move him to center because he's a really intelligent guy and knows where everything is going on the offensive line. And I think that's just a depth piece. Or in case Bakhtiari gets hurt, it's never too bad to have a backup left and right tackle. So that's pick here. Hopefully he's still there. He's actually been rising in the late round draft boards a little bit. So hopefully he's still there round 6. I think that's a steal for us.
Yeah, for
Drop
sure.
something, whatever. Hold on,
So
drop.
I'm up next, round 6, pick 195, and keeping this short and sweet. I know I'm definitely wrong here. This isn't going to be the first time that the Patriots trade in this draft, but that's where I've got it. I just think they trade this pick away for a 2021 selection, because that's just the type of stuff that Belichick does. But I also am up next. Another. This is the thing. The Patriots have 4 6th round draft picks, so that's why I think they're going to get creative and active in the trade situation here. But round 6, pick 204. I don't want them waiting too long. Goskowski has been the Patriots kicker since 06, 07. Ever since Adam Vinatieri left. And so literally the entire Patriots dynasty, the whole time Tom Brady was there, it was Vinatieri and it was Goskowski.
Who saved him? Who
Yeah, I
also
mean,
saved him?
two of the best kickers to ever be in the NFL, I'd say. Goskowski might be a stretch. Vinatieri definitely. But another big hole that the Patriots are missing here is kicker, and I personally love Rodrigo Blankenship. Again, another guy from Georgia. He was a phenomenal kicker in college. I also think the glasses look is really freaking dope. So if
Nerd.
they, yeah, exactly. So if they could get him here, I think it's a great pick. But surprisingly, another guy I saw that they're looking at kicker is Adam Vinatieri's nephew. I
Oh
can't
yeah,
remember what
Chase.
school he's out of. Yeah, Chase Vinatieri.
I want to say it's
Uh,
like one of the Dakotas or
yeah, I don't. It's
no.
not like
No,
a
I'm about to
big
look it
name
up.
school, but I know that's another guy that they could potentially pick. And I mean, the first time around it worked, so I don't see a problem with that.
South
What is it?
South Dakota State.
There you go. Yeah. So I think this could be a solid play here. But regardless, they need a kicker. It's a lot more important than people think, and I think those are two of the top guys available in this draft. So I think that's where they're going to go with that.
Yeah. These later rounds is where I'm not as sure about things. I mean, obviously you can't because that's where the draft, that pool just kind of widens and you get guys coming from everywhere. But I saw this draft board this morning, and it was interesting to me that I saw this guy called John Hightower. He's a wide receiver from Boise State. It's another type of Jalen Rager guy, just a burner downfield, and I think that's what we need. Like I said, we got Equinemius St. Brown 6'3". We got
One second.
Marquez Valdez Scantling 6'4". We have Alan Lazard 6'4". So I think we need a couple of these smaller guys to help take us to the next level. And this guy said that John Hightower was a burner. I checked him out, and I think it's a solid day 6 pick. Just get some more speed and help Tyler Irvin in the return game possibly.
And then you're right back. That's pick 208. Now you got 209.
Boom. So Bucky Brooks had us taking quarterback at the 30th overall pick, while I have us taking him at 209. This kid, Cole McDonald, quarterback from Hawaii. I don't know how many people know about him. Solid
I
quarterback.
don't.
He's actually got a He's actually got a good arm. He's got a big arm. He's got a lot of talent to throw the ball over the place. He played at Hawaii. The level of competition is not super high over there, and I don't know how productive you can be. Also, big name quarterback. I can't remember his name, but there was a big time quarterback who was supposed to be a legend out of Hawaii and didn't turn into anything. I can't remember. It's a college football legend though.
Yeah.
He's disgusting. But I take Cole McDonald here, just to help out in the draft.
I think another guy
build
you guys.
some depth.
Sorry, not to cut in on you. Another
you're
guy
good.
here, because a lot of talk about the Patriots maybe looking at this guy if they do a quarterback late in the draft, is the quarterback from FIU. I'm pretty sure they've got him slated around 5th or 6th round, and I think that's another guy you guys could roll the dice with there as well.
I saw, and that was the other guy I thought for at this pick. James Morgan is his name.
That's right. James Morgan.
He's actually from Wisconsin.
Oh, really?
He said it was yes. The only reason that I have Cole McDonald over him is one, I'm not helping anybody else from CUSA. Go Niners.
Fair enough. Yes.
And Cole McDonald has long blonde hair, and Matthew's gang for life. So,
there you go. Yeah, seriously, you need another one.
And I think Cole McDonald's a little more athletic. And yeah. So one of those two guys to me, the Wisconsin boy James Morgan, even though he played in Florida, or Cole McDonald, but the Packers are definitely going QB in the 6th round late.
Yeah. So I've got 3 picks in a row. 2 6th rounders, 1 7th round before your next pick. So they've got pick 212 and 213. And this just seems prime for them to move up in the draft. I think they'll combine these two together, move up maybe 4th round. I think because they have 2 4th round picks now. I don't know, honestly. They might combine a bunch
of for next year.
Yeah, or combine them for next year. I mean, I just think it seems like the type of thing they'll do. And I love what I put for here. So yeah, 212, 213. I think they'll just trade away. But round 7, pick 230. My exact words on the script here: typical Patriots draft pick, and then in parentheses, no namer, out of position player turned star. You know what I'm talking about here. Julian Edelman was a quarterback from
Kent State.
Kent State.
Akron.
I almost said Akron.
Yeah, Kent State.
Kent State. You're right. Quarterback from Kent State, and now he became the next Wes Welker. I mean, I think the Patriots, they're going to find. I couldn't think of anyone, to be honest. Last year I wanted them to get Hunter Renfrow. That didn't happen. And he ended up being, pretty solid for the Raiders for his rookie year. So I'm not exactly sure what that looks like, but I just think it's going to be one of those skill players, not heard of, that after 2 to 3 years of being a primary returner or special teamer, I'll be talking about and be like, see, I told you so. So that's what I got. Round 7, pick 230. Again, these round 7 picks are not the easiest, but it's the type of thing the Patriots do.
Yeah, my 7th round picks, my stats guy back here, big Wisconsin guy, so he probably won't like what I'm about to say, but I have us taking edge guy from Minnesota. His name's Carter Coughlin. He's extremely athletic. And he fills the void of Kyler Fackrell as that depth rotation rusher, somebody who can get pressure, maybe 2 or 3 sacks tops if he makes the roster, just as that backup edge, Kyler Fackrell role. Since we lost him to the Giants as well, I think we just fill out some more depth, because we have Pro Bowl guys there already. So filling out that depth in the 7th round, why not take a shot on an athletic guy from up north?
For sure. So now it's me. 1 pick before your last pick. Round 7, pick 241. I didn't have a specific guy here. I said special teams or depth defensive back. Mainly because the reason I say special teams is Matthew Slater has been a career special teamer, fantastic team captain. I can't say enough good things about him, but he's getting up there in age. And we lost, Nate Ebner, I believe. He was a rugby player turned career special teamer.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, we lost him to the Giants because I think the Giants head coach is our former special teams coordinator, Joe Judge. So he kind of took that away from us. And I just think Patriots always take a guy that's like a receiver or like a defensive back or something like that, and they just stick at special teams. So I think that's something they'll do with this pick. And I guess in retrospect, I'm gonna say one flaw that I see with my draft overall before you say your pick. Patriots definitely are gonna need a safety because McCourty and Chung are kind of getting up there in age and
Chung.
don't. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, but yeah, so I think that's the one thing I'm missing from my draft is a safety, and I don't think they'll wait till the last pick of their. I don't think they'll wait till their last selection to do so. So that's like my one flaw. But yeah, I think that
Yeah.
pick right there is a special teamer.
I mean, that could be where, instead of taking Terrell Lewis out of Alabama, you go ahead and
Exactly.
take one of
Yeah.
these top safeties, something like that. Um, or you try and take Hurts a little later and instead of getting Claypool, something like that.
Yeah.
So for my last pick, round 7, pick 242, I'm taking, and this is a safety, Jordan Fuller out of Ohio State. I hate Ohio State, but this guy is, 205, or he's 205 right now. He's 6'2". He's a box safety, but can play deep. To me, that's an Oren Burks type of role. That's a bit, a slightly undersized linebacker. You get him up to, you put 10, 15 pounds on him, it gets in the league. 6'2", 220. I mean, that's a running back size right there. And, you want somebody that size to meet him in the hole on the other side. So I think this could be, a late round kind of positional, mix up. That box safety, or that nickel, the money backer, whatever you want to call it. I think this guy could possibly fill that role as a rotational guy as well. Um, and
Now,
yeah,
is
and
this?
you're,
I know it's a pretty fairly common last name. Is there any relation to Kyle and Will Fuller or no?
I have no idea. I found it
No
this
idea.
morning.
Okay. Yep.
I haven't done any research.
Yeah, I was
Um,
just thinking the age and all that. If it's possible, but
yeah, I mean that family's got all three. I think there's only 3 of them though, and they all went to Virginia Tech. So I don't think there's any
yeah.
relation.
Well,
Also, this is
wait,
not a
who was in
relationship.
that family?
Kyle
Kyle,
Fuller, Kendall Fuller, and
Kendall.
there
That's it.
and there was a wide receiver. The brother's a wide receiver.
It's not Will, is it?
No, 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 no,
Okay.
not
I
Will
was gonna
Fuller,
say
because
because
he's
he's he went to Notre
I
Dame.
think he's a cousin though.
Okay.
But either way,
Yeah.
the other one was a receiver for the Redskins, I think,
Okay.
because Kyle and Kendall are both corners, Bears, and now the Chiefs, and then
Yep.
I'm pretty sure the other one was a receiver for the Redskins. Anyway, that knocks out our mock draft. I just got a couple things here. Um, you know, before the draft, a lot of guys get hyped, some guys don't. So who do you think is getting the most hype that doesn't deserve it, or like just overrated guy, or if you got a couple, that's fine too.
Yeah. I mean, and we've kind of touched base on this already. I think the most overrated guy right now is Jordan Love, quarterback out of Utah State. I say that because everyone has fallen in love with the type of quarterback that Mahomes is. Because although he is a dual threat quarterback, he's just his arm strength is just something else, and he's kind of in a league of his own, I'd say. Um, and a lot of people are comparing Jordan Love to Patrick Mahomes, saying, "Oh, that's this draft's Patrick Mahomes," and that kind of thing. And you go and look at his junior year stats at Utah State, and you're like, okay, he had a good season. Then you look at this past year, and you're just like, I'm pretty sure he had more or the same amount of touchdowns and interceptions, and you're just like, I don't recall Patrick Mahomes having that kind of season in college. Like, I'm pretty sure he was just pretty solid his entire time. Um, and I don't know. I just think people are just throwing Jordan Love into the QB mix when it's a pretty obvious like top 3 between uh, Burrow, Herbert, and Tagovailoa. And I just feel like experts are just kind of throwing Love in there because they're like, oh, Pat, he's somewhat related, or somewhat similar to Mahomes. So that's kind of like my overrated player, but I couldn't really think of any other than that.
Yeah, I've got two, and this might ruffle a few feathers, but to me, Henry Ruggs, and I say that because of the recent, um, John Ross. I think it's a possibility. I think more than likely that he will end up being a John Ross. He'll get hurt, and his go-to thing is a deep threat and his ability to make plays after the ball. Well, I don't think that he's going to be nearly as good as everybody thinks he's going to be. I did see one thing that said he would be on the Chiefs, and I think Andy Reid could make him. Oh, that scares me. Um,
Yeah.
but oh, that
Agreed.
would be terrifying. The league would explode. It would just
Yeah.
explode. I think Henry Ruggs and the other one I just had, to me, Justin Herbert is Josh Rosen of this draft. He's the Josh Rosen.
I think that's an interesting take, but I that could be possible. Yeah.
Well, I say that because he's all over the place. He's not consistent to me. He might have the arm to make all the throws. He's got the prototypical size, especially for this new age, QB. I mean,
Mhm.
it's to me he's getting the kind of hype that Ryan Finley had last year. You remember when Ryan Finley was
Oh
talked about being
yeah.
like one of the top quarterbacks in the draft just because
Yep.
he was 6'5", looks like me, and had a big arm.
Yeah,
I
and
think
then what?
Her-
He got taken by the Bengals, and then what? Played like
is
one game or something like that, and
yeah,
then
he played for them and wasn't very good and got benched
yeah.
for McCarron probably. And I don't necessarily think Herbert's going to be awful, but I don't think he will be worth that 6th round pick. And when we go back, 2 years from now and be like, all right, based on the rookie years, who had the best impact? Like, where would you redraft this? I think Herbert falls out of the first round, or really late in the first round, because I think there are more productive guys than him. And I think watching him play in the Rose Bowl against Wisconsin, even though they won that game, he was not like dominating. He wasn't taking over. Um, and early on as a senior, he got beat, outdueled by Bo Nix, the freshman from Auburn. And to
That's
me, as a
right. Yeah.
senior in a big game like that, I'm sorry, you can't let this little freshman even outduel you. He threw a pick to lose the game. I'm pretty sure. So Justin Herbert to me is that overrated quarterback.
I could see that for sure. And now kind of moving into underrated players. Again, here I only have one guy I can think of off the top of my head. You're gonna like what I have to say because it's a Wisconsin guy. Uh, I think no one is giving Jonathan Taylor any love in this draft, and I can't seem to figure out why. Uh, the dude was by far the best running back in college football uh, for I'd say the past like 2 years, if not more. Uh, he, obviously Wisconsin is like the Dallas Cowboys of the college football in the sense that they have a great
RBU,
offense. In the
RBU.
sense that they have a great offensive line, which is beneficial. But like, I don't know, I just think Jonathan Taylor is special, man. That dude, he I'm pretty sure he broke a bunch of records. And just overall, I mean, I think the one thing people are worried about was his usage, like because obviously Wisconsin ran the ball a lot, but I don't know. I think Taylor, to me, he should be the number one running back selected, but I think experts have him as like the fifth, and I don't like that at all. I think whoever gets him is going to get a really solid running back, and it's going to be one of the biggest steals of this draft.
I agree with that. I've got a couple underrated guys, but let me go on my Jonathan Taylor rant here. First of all,
Yes,
DeAndre
go for it.
Swift. DeAndre Swift is not a top three back. He's not. He's not. Cam Akers, get him out of here. Not a top three back. Okay? I saw somebody have DeAndre Swift, Clyde Edwards Hilaire, Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, and Jonathan Taylor.
Now, DeAndre Swift is from Georgia, correct?
Yes. And
which
like
is
I
probably
understand,
why he's being overrated because you've got the Gurley, you've got Chubb, Michelle. I mean, that's he just kind of falls in line with that, and so
yes,
I guess that's why he's being kind of rated high.
but to me, I think Georgia's production at the running position or running back position has fallen off. Not a whole lot, but I mean, you compare. Here's a stat. My stats guy gave me the other day. Jonathan Taylor had 3,000. It was like 3,500 rushing yards. So did Ezekiel Elliott. That was over 2 years. But the thing about Jonathan Taylor's 3,500 rushing yards is the fact that they were all after contact.
That's pretty
He
crazy.
had
Yeah,
he had the most rushing yards in a 3 year career, like most three like of all time. He had the most rushing yards out of 3 years that anybody who had ever played college football. The best running back in college football, statistically, like yard wise, is Ron Dane, also out of Wisconsin. And to say that he had a better career than Ron Dane in college, you know, numbers wise and percentage wise, how? I don't understand how he's not number one. That
yeah,
frustrates the life out of me. Oh, who was another one? Obviously, Alex Highsmith out of Charlotte. Obviously, that
I
undervalued,
agree.
right? Just because it's a small school, it's a walk-on guy. But I saw one of these guys put him as like the top 3-4 outside linebacker. Personally, I'd have him at a 4-3 end. That's just what he played in college. Um, but that guy is definitely undervalued. Oh, I had two more in my head and I can't remember them. I didn't write them down. Uh, Shit. I don't know. I'll come back to it if I remember it out.
Yeah.
So now, like with our teams, both of us have quite a few draft picks. Um, what's one team other than your own that you think will just knock this draft out of the water?
I think they don't really have a choice. They need to, and I hate picking a team in my own division, but I think the Dolphins really have a chance to play this draft right. Like, not only did they have a really solid free agency for almost like last year at one point, it was like, will the Patriots go 16-0 or will the Dolphins go 0-16? Neither of those happened, but just like the fact that people thought the Dolphins were going to be the next team to go 0-16 showed how bad they were. They ended up having a pretty solid rest of the year. I think they only won like 5 games total, but they finished strong. They had a really strong free agency, and they still have a ton of draft picks. I think what determines whether they hit or miss is what they do with that. I think is it the 10th overall pick or no? It's the 5th overall pick, I believe.
Five or
Um,
six, one of those two. It's them and the
where
Chargers.
everyone's got them taking Tua. I don't think that's the best move for them. They need security at quarterback, not someone that's one injury away from being done. Uh, I think that right there, that pick will set the tone for the rest of their draft. Uh, and I think if they play their cards right, they could set themselves up to be right there with the Bills potentially as the two next top teams in the AFC East.
You know what would be really funny? The Dolphins just say, "Oh, all you guys got your mocks. We're going with Josh Rosen," and they just take like Jerry Judy or something. Just like
Yeah, I mean that would be kind of crazy. Yeah,
that'd be wild, dude. To me, other than the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins have a chance to be really good. I think a guarantee for this draft is that the Oakland Raiders kill it. I think John Gruden. To me, John Gruden is one of the best football minds there is,
I
and I
agree.
think he's too smart to screw this up. Especially if CeeDee Lamb just falls in his lap. I mean, that's the perfect fit for him. And I don't think they need a quarterback. I think they can wait till next year, wait for Carr's deal to run out, whenever that is, because to me, Derek Carr's good enough. I
Yeah,
don't think he's
I
going to
don't
win
know
him a Super
why. I
Bowl.
mean, they paid him for a reason. I don't know why they would just all of a sudden move on from him
Yeah.
after.
Now, granted, it wasn't John Gruden who paid him, but
Agreed. Yeah,
it's not. He had. He's good enough to me. He's better than Andy Dalton. He's better than some of these other guys that have made the playoffs. I think if he can make it to the divisional, round, with this team, he might have a chance. There might be a chance that, he breaks his leg again. They kind of tank a little bit, get a quarterback who slips, and then boom, they're right there. I mean, they're taking on Mahomes and the rest of those guys. I mean, I think that is how well this draft is going to go for the Raiders, is the fact that they're going to challenge for that wild card spot out of that division.
Yeah.
Because obviously Mahomes and them are going to win it. The Broncos are on the rise, but I don't think the Broncos, to me, have 2-3 years to go before they get any big moves up. And now, what is your team that you just have a feeling is just going to screw this draft up?
A team that's going to mess up completely.
Yeah.
Uh, I honestly, I think this, speaking for the future, I think the Saints might be in big trouble. Interesting, I know, because I still think they're going to be competitive for the next 2 years or so because they got Breeze back. Obviously, they have Kamara. They've got Thomas. They're set for now. But the problem is they only have, I think it's 5 picks in this year's draft. And like we both said at the beginning of the episode, this is one of the most stacked draft classes in a while. And I think this is where you'd want to have a lot of picks, not 5 total. I mean, that's less than rounds in the draft. I just think they'll be fine, like I said, for the next 2 years or so. But with Drew Brees on the cusp of retiring and running backs don't seem to last that long anymore. And Kamara gets used in both the passing and running game. I mean, you never know. I think that'll hurt them in terms of the future. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna have the worst draft, so to speak. But I think that they needed more picks based on where they're at, just as like a franchise for the future.
Yeah. I think this might be common knowledge at this point that Bill O'Brien is an idiot. And I think that idiocracy continues into this draft. I think he's going to screw it up. I do. You trade DeAndre Hopkins, arguably the best receiver in the league. You trade him for leftovers and a bag of chips. Like, dude.
Yeah.
You trade a first round pick for Laramie Tunsil, who's not even a top 5 left tackle in the league, and you traded the best receiver in the league for nothing. Like, I don't understand how you do this. You don't have a first round pick. You have a 3rd and a 5th round pick, and you gave up a 4th rounder in the trade for Hopkins. How do you give up a pick? So yes,
I don't know.
With less picks, with fewer picks than there are in the draft, I do believe. Don't correct. I'm gonna fact check myself right now.
Yeah.
But I think Bill O'Brien's going to screw it up. And the Texans went from winning that division, and Deshaun Watson's going to request a trade by the end of the year.
I mean, I don't see why he shouldn't. Although he is a free agent, so that might make things a little difficult. Or he will be a free agent next year. And kind of,
Really?
I just thought
he won't.
Because I've been seeing a lot of talks that people think he'll sign with the Patriots in 21.
Oh,
Probably,
not.
yeah. I don't know if that'll
Maybe I'm
happen or
tripping.
not. Just stuff I've seen. Kind of piggybacking off of exactly what you just said, like right when you said the whole bit about not having a first round pick and kind of trading away everything, that instantly made me think a team that really proved that no matter what, they're just going to screw this draft up because of stuff they've done leading up to it is the Bears. Because they went ahead, they signed Nick Foles because the GM
They're
or whatever
idiots.
said he's right. He said, everyone's right, I messed up, Mitch Trubisky sucks. He didn't say it in those words, but that's essentially what he said by going out and signing Nick Foles. I think they traded for Nick Foles because he's under contract. Yeah. So here's my problem with that. They traded for a guy who has proved, whether you want to credit that to coaching or to injuries or whatever, Nick Foles cannot do it outside of Philadelphia. I don't know why. I like the guy. I respect him. Even though he beat my team in the Super Bowl, I respect the crap out of Nick Foles. I think he's a really good guy in general. I think he was really solid for the Eagles that year they won the Super Bowl. but he just can't get it done outside of Philly. And he goes to Jacksonville on a 4-year, $88 million contract, which I thought was ridiculous. I mean, I think I said that in videos from last year when we were talking about last year's free agency. I thought that was a
100%,
ridiculous deal. And now he's on the Bears on that contract, and they still have Mitch Trubisky. Like, it's not like he just went away. He's just, I don't know. And they don't have a first round pick. I don't think they picked till like pick 41 or something like that in the second round.
Yeah.
And you don't really have a quarterback in the future because, like we just said, Trubisky sucks, and
Nick Foles
is very
is
injury prone.
30 plus.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bears have really screwed themselves. I think no matter what they do, I think they're just destined to fail in this draft.
Yeah.
They're a lot worse off. Like, I take back my original team. I think they're a lot worse off than the Saints are.
Yeah. And to go along with my Texans thing, Houston has a second round pick, a third round pick, a fourth rounder, a fifth rounder, and then 3 in the seventh round. So they technically have 7 picks, but like, yeah, the likelihood that they pull anything good out of the seventh round with 3 picks than they would have with, I don't know, a first round pick. So I think Houston is screwed, to be honest. And I think that's all we got. Let's see, how long have we been running? Oh, cool. Doesn't say. Anyway, it's been a lot of information. My family's trying to do work. Also, the one interesting thing I did see today: Percy Harvin is attempting an NFL comeback after 4 years.
Is he really?
So he is. That is what I just saw. I saw it this morning.
That's interesting. I mean, because he's not that old, is he? Like, he's probably only in early 30s?
I think he's 30s, yeah.
Yeah,
but
so
that could be an interesting piece for us to talk about next time.
yeah,
Guys
for
retiring or coming back after multiple years. But it has been fun coming back on Fans with Attitude.
For sure.
If you are watching it later, since I'm the only one watching right now, so I can see the comments. If you do go back and watch this later, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we'll be able to make some more episodes and try to give some more content just for people as they're doing literally nothing during quarantine. So
yeah, definitely do it. We definitely want to do a draft analysis. Like, after this draft is over, I want to go back and look and compare our mock draft to what actually ends up happening. But yeah, I mean, during quarantine, we've got nothing better to do. We'll just try to take as many sports topics as we can. If you can think of any of the fans, if you can think of any, please let us know, because obviously MLB hasn't started yet. NFL or NBA and NHL are delayed until further notice. I mean, XFL just got bankrupt. I mean, it's going to be hard to come up with topics, but we're going to make it happen because we actually have time now, and it's been fun. So
yes,
that's Daniel.
Make sure.
Oh, that's Daniel.
Yes. One more thing. If you do go back and watch this, to anybody watching at home, if you want to react to anything or have us talk about anything in particular, go on Facebook, Twitter, comment on the YouTube, and we'll make sure to check it out for next time. So, for the third time, I'm Daniel.
I'm
that
Drew.
is my boy Drew.
Dude, I'm so bad at this stuff.
We're Daniel and Drew. We'll see you guys next time on Fans with Attitude.
All right, peace out.